Hello everyone, welcome back to Homeschool. And in our last video, we started with transportation in plants. And in today's class, let us continue with the transportation itself. Actually, in the previous video, we discussed everything about ascent of sap, isn't it? What do you mean by ascent of sap? Transport of water from roots to leaves is called ascent of sap. And coming to the next aspect, that is translocation. What do you mean by translocation? It is opposite. That means transport of food from leaves to roots is called translocation. Okay. So how did water went from roots to leaves? It is with the help of xylem tissue, isn't it? So similarly here, there is a tissue called phloem tissue. So phloem tissue carries food from leaves to roots. Okay, so translocation occurs with the help of phloem tissue. Okay, so about the phloem tissue also in your class 9 you have studied the elements of phloem tissue. You know, phloem tissue mainly contains the sieve tubes and companion cells, isn't it? So here sieve tubes and companion cells are helpful for carrying food from leaves to roots. Okay, let us see how the food is carried away from leaves to roots. See here, we have a leaf here, and this is a leaf cell, okay, which has prepared some kind of food. This is a food in leaf cell, okay, and this particular cell which is having food is connected to the companion cell of phloem tissue. Okay, I told you phloem mainly contains the sieve tubes and companion cells, and you know these are called sieve tubes and this is what we call companion cell. Okay, and phloem is always associated with xylem also. Both are present inside together, okay, side by side. And the food is actually moving from the cell of a leaf to companion cell of a phloem. Okay, so how does a food will move from leaf to companion cell of phloem? It is with the help of energy. Okay, so what is the first point that you have to remember is food moves from leaf cells to companion cells of phloem. Companion cells of phloem with the help of, or I can say food moves from leaf cells to companion cells of phloem by using energy. Okay, by using energy. Here energy is stored in the form of ATPs, isn't it? Always energy is stored in the form of ATPs. So with the help of certain ATPs, you know, the food is moving to companion cells of the phloem. Okay, and now from companion cells the food is actually moving into the sieve tubes of phloem. Okay, remember phloem contains two important parts. One is the sieve tubes, these are the sieve tubes, and the other one is companion cells. Okay, so initially the food is actually moving from leaf cells to companion cells. From companion cells it is moving to the sieve tubes. So in the next point I will mention here is food moves from companion cells to sieve tubes of phloem. Okay, so now the food is here. Now the food is here. Okay, and in this step what happens is, see, xylem would be having some amount of water, isn't it? So xylem will have some amount of water in its tissue. Water also moves from xylem to phloem here. Okay, see, the higher amount of water is there in a xylem, and the xylem cell is connected with the phloem cell. Water amount is more here, so water always moves from higher area to higher concentration area to lower concentration area by osmosis, isn't it? So that's the reason water also will move from xylem to phloem here, right? So what is the third step happening here? Water moves from nearby xylem to sieve tubes of phloem. Okay, so once the water moves from xylem to sieve tubes of phloem, and now this particular cell you observe, this particular phloem cell you observe, food is there, water is there, you know, very much high concentration and lots of pressure would be there in this particular cell. Okay, so since lots of pressure is there, what happens? It will try to pass the amount of food and water to the next cell. Next cell is actually empty, isn't it? So a kind of pressure would have created because of lots of stuff present in this cell, and that pressure is actually called as osmotic pressure. Okay, so what I will write is, water moves from nearby xylem to sieve tubes of phloem. So osmotic pressure is created in phloem cell, that is sieve tube of phloem cell. Okay, which is responsible that osmotic pressure is actually responsible for passage of food downwards, okay, till roots, you know. So these are the three steps of the food transport in case of phloem tissue. Okay, so now what will happen? Lots of water would have moved to this cell, lots of pressure is created. That pressure created due to osmosis is called osmotic pressure. Okay, and since lots of pressure is there here, some amount of food would be passed to next sieve tube, and from here to here, again here lots of pressure would be created. Yes or no? And some amount of water would be moving from nearby xylem also to the next sieve tube. So the food is passed from here to here, and later from here to here, and later it will be passed to the companion cells of a root, and you know, from root till the root, the food is passed this way. So this is all about the transport of food from leaves to roots, and this is what we call translocation. So how is this food transport is taking place? With the help of a tissue called phloem. Okay, fine. Now let us see a beautiful picture on translocation. To the picture of translocation, observe here carefully. This is a leaf cell, guys. Okay, in a leaf cell you see sucrose is manufactured or synthesized, and this leaf cell is associated with companion cell of phloem. The whole thing is a phloem. See, these you know, elongated tube is called sieve cells, and the cells which are attached to the sieve cells are called, you know, companion cell. Okay, so these are the two components of phloem actually. So the companion cell is attached to the leaf cell, where sucrose is moving to the companion cell. Simply sucrose cannot move to the companion cell. To occur this process, you know, there utilizes a lots of energy. So with lots of energy, the cell can able to move its sucrose into companion cell. From companion cell, it is moving to the elongated tube. You see, this is a sieve tube. Okay, phloem tissues sieve tube. and the phloem is always has xylem onto its side, so water from xylem also will move into the sieve tube. So in this particular area where sucrose is there, water is there, a pressure is created in this cell. Okay, so that's the reason that pressure we call it as osmotic pressure actually. Due to that osmotic pressure, the stuffs whatever is there here, both food and water, will move to this cell. Okay, now in this cell more pressure is created, this cell will have less pressure, so the food is moved from this part to this part. Okay, and later imagine this is a root part. Okay, so from the sieve tube, food is again going to the companion cell. Companion cell is associated with the root cell, so food is going to the root. So this is how the food that is synthesized in the leaf cell is going to the bottom part of the plant, that is root cell. Similarly, it can go to the topmost part of the plant also. Okay, so with the help of what tissue, guys? With the help of phloem tissue. Okay, so this is all about translocation. Okay, so that is all about the translocation and the ascent of sap. So one small recap let us have on transportation in plants. Say transportation in plants occurs with the help of two important processes. One is ascent of sap, which includes the transport of water and minerals with the help of xylem tissue. Okay, so in shorter plants the transportation of water is different, and in the taller plants the transportation of water and minerals is different, isn't it? In case of shorter plants, transport of this water and minerals takes place from soil to leaf by simple diffusion and osmosis, right? The simple diffusion and osmosis is responsible for creating a root pressure actually. Okay, so with the help of the root pressure, the water is actually moving from soil to roots, right? And later with these simple processes, that is osmosis and diffusion, the water moves till the leaf also, right? And in case of taller plants, maybe this process is not enough. You want one more process to happen for movement of that water and minerals from roots to leaf. And what is that one more process? Transpirational pull. So what do you mean by transpiration? Transpiration is nothing but the loss of water through stomata, isn't it, into the atmosphere is called transpiration. So due to the transpiration, what happens is a transpirational pull is created. What do you mean by transpirational pull? So whenever a transpiration took place, a kind of suction force is created. That force will pull the water upwards, isn't it? So due to the transpirational pull also, through the xylem, water can move from root to leaf, right? So normally if the plant shorter, even in the taller plants also, the process of diffusion and osmosis you will find for the movement of water also from root to leaf, but majority of the work is actually done by the transpirational pull. Okay, and coming to the next concept, that is translocation, that is transport of food. So who will carry the food from one part to another part? That is phloem tissue. Okay, say I explained you the 3 steps how the food is transported. What actually happens, the food from the leaf cells will be passed to the companion cells of the phloem with the help of certain energy. Okay, and later water also will flow from nearby xylem into that sieve tube, so that osmotic pressure is created. Due to the pressure, the food is moving downwards till the roots. Okay, same way the food has to move upwards also. Yes or no? Leaf, if it is at the center, the food has to move to the shoot as well as to the root. Okay, so both the processes, food can move in the upward direction, food can move in the downward direction also. But in the xylem, the water movement is always in a upward direction. Okay, say if I have to ask a question on the differences between xylem and phloem, what is the answer you will give? Say I am discussing about the differences between xylem and phloem, right? So what is the difference between xylem and phloem? Xylem and phloem. So xylem always carries water, isn't it? From roots to leaves. And phloem carries food from leaves to other parts of the body. Other parts of the body, isn't it? And you know, here the direction of water is unidirectional. Okay, uni in the sense what? Single. That means water moves in only one direction, that is from bottom to up. Roots to leaf it should go now. So from bottom to up, only in one direction the water is moving. Okay, but here the direction of food movement is bidirectional. What do you mean by bidirectional? See, the food has to go to roots also and the food has to go to shoot also. Yes or no? Upper body parts of the plant. So food should go in almost all the direction. Imagine you have a tree. Okay, say the leaf is here, the food is manufactured here. So the food should go to the root, the food should go to the shoot also. Isn't it? So in all the directions, the food has to go. That's why the direction of the food in phloem tissue is bidirectional, we will say. But the direction of water in xylem tissue is unidirectional. Say water from roots, it should go to upper region only. It cannot go to the bottom part, right? Root itself is the bottom part of a plant. So if something is going from a root, it should go to the upward direction only, not to the downward direction, isn't it? So that's why the direction is unidirectional here, but here it is bidirectional. Okay. And now one important question, if I ask you, what would be the answer for this? The question is, the energy needs in plants is lesser compared to animals. Can you tell me why? The energy needs, I mean, the plants actually need less amount of energy compared to the animals. What is the reason? It is because plants do not show more movements. So, no, say for example, we human beings, we will talk, we will do various things with our hands, we walk, we run, right? So, we do so much of activities with the help of our body, right? Physical activities. For all of this, we want more energy. Whereas in plants, only those metabolic activities, photosynthesis, respiration, inside chemical reactions are going on. That's it. And plant is not moving too much like the animal. Plant is there where it is. Yes or no? Only its leaves and branches or stems can move whenever wind is blown. Okay. Otherwise, you know, it cannot move from one place to another place, isn't it? So you will always observe less movements in case of plants. That's the reason plants' energy needs are much lesser compared to the animals. Okay. So what is the answer you will give here? There are no much movements in plants compared to animals. Okay, so that's the reason plants need lesser energy compared to animals. So this is all about transportation in plants. Okay, so we discussed transportation in human beings and transportation in plants. So with this, we are completing a topic called transportation, which is a very, very, very important life process. Okay, and in my next video, we will meet with the last life process of the chapter, that is excretion. Okay, so till then, revise the concept, And if you like our video, please like, share and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thank you.